Hello, it is 8 p.m. on Monday night, March the 16th. Y'all already know what it is. It's Fall into Victory podcast with your host, Teja Michelle. And I am, let me clap for y'all. I'm so glad that you're here. Let me clap for myself. I'm so glad I'm here. Let me clap for my guest because I'm so glad that she's here. I am super excited. Y'all already know to like, share, and to also comment so we can see your comments. But most importantly, like it, share it. Tell a friend that we're on here and we are going to be talking about some good stuff. Y'all already know it's Women's History Month, and y'all know how God do me. He do me right before the month starts and say, "Go ahead, girl, just do this." So we are talking about unmuted. That has been our topic, and each week, every dynamic speaker has brought, excuse me, some type of I want to say perspective. I want to say, I mean, just such wise perspectives. So I'm super excited for my guest tonight. Tonight is Unmute a Healed Voice. And this is my guest, Danielle. I'm about to call you D-Hat.
I
D-Hat.
figured.
Where did that even come from? Pastor, doctor, professor, uh, comma, MSW. Yes, because this is how she is. I told her this resume is long and I love it. So, Danielle, I'm super excited to have you on. Please tell the guests who you are. You can tell them anything about yourself. Please tell them about your beautiful daughter. I only because I met her.
No
Your
worries.
husband. Yes,
Yeah.
all of it. Tell them all of it.
So my name is Danielle Downey Hadley. I'm not a doctor yet, although I'm putting it in the book. Okay, that
Come on.
people been calling me
Come on.
Dr. Hadley for a really long time. We're gonna get
Wow.
it done quite soon. But I am a LCSW, so I have my Master's of Social Services. I got that from the lovely Bryn Mawr. I also have a Master's of Divinity, so I am Pastor Danielle Hadley. But don't tell nobody. um, So I have been married for it'll be 19 years to my
Wow.
amazing husband. I have three
Congratulations.
amazing children, Eden, Elisha, and Emmanuel. I teach at Eastern University as an adjunct in their social work department. I also teach at I adjunct at Westchester as well. I have
Look
a
at her. Keep
job.
going, girl.
I have a day job, and I have a very, very small private practice that I attend to my clients as well. So I'm a Christian therapist.
I love
I
that.
think that was enough. Oh, I'm an author too. Now to just be adding stuff,
Keep
okay?
going. Keep going. Your author. Come on. What's your book called?
Yeah. But yeah, those are the hats that I wear. But
Um.
most of all, I am a child of God. I'm a child of
Yeah.
the King, and that is the thing that I am absolutely most proud of and most excited. And that's the thing I share first, usually.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it. I met Danielle at Ignite, a women's empowerment summit, a few years ago. I don't even know because it's like when you're like
It's
not
been
being
like I
smart,
was
but it's like when you're
listening.
having fun with women. It's like I can't even tell you when I
It's
met
been a
you.
while.
Right.
It just always has been. It was a thing. It's always been.
Yeah, no, seriously. But one of the things about, the women that I've connected to there at Ignite is just, it's like, I feel like everything is just so natural. It's just literally like, even if it's like we're not close, we don't talk all the time. It's just like when we see each other, it's very natural, it's very genuine. And I think you're so calm. I think you have such a calm spirit, but I think in my mind, one day I'm going to actually be able to witness it. I know you probably already do this, but I'm going to be able to see you roar like a lion, like with a microphone in your hand. So I'm dead
Amen.
serious.
I'm
But I
trying.
think just every time I encounter you, it's just such a sweet. You have that sweet fragrance, like that sweet residue that you leave. Just a very gentle, wise spirit. I love everything that you do with the 30 under 30 for Ignite, and again, that's how we met. I just wanted to we can talk about it at the end. We'll talk about
Okay.
that 30 under 30 at the end, and we'll talk about whatever else that you have on. We'll talk about your book. How can people purchase your book? If you're taking clients, we'll talk all about that at the end.
No worries.
Okay, so you want me to start or you want to start? Is it something that the Lord is pressing upon your heart for you to start or you want me to start?
Well, one of the things when I heard the topic, what I will say is some things are aspirational. Because
Yeah.
just as you said, right, even with all of the accolades, all the accomplishments, all the things that I've done, there can sometimes still be a residue of that mutedness, right? So when you
Mm,
think about healing and deliverance as transitional and gradual thing. Sometimes you're okay. Like, I'm okay with big earrings and pink hair, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not always
Oh yeah,
okay.
y'all. Because listen, let me tell y'all, she would come out with the big earrings, the lipstick, the glitter, the pink hair, the
I'm
braids,
okay with that.
all of it.
But sometimes when it's like, okay, can you really speak your truth to power? Can you really
Yeah.
be honest and
That's
authentic
really good.
about your feelings, your emotions, your range of emotions,
Yeah.
right? That is something that can be aspirational. And I find that sometimes you don't even know that you're running into that wall until you encounter
Wow.
the thing, right? Until you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, come speak to these people. And you're like, sure, they about to get a dissertation. They're going to get all this intellect. They're going to get all this big words, but they might not get me because
Yeah.
trauma has said that I am not safe.
Wow. That's really good. That's really, really good. I'm not even joking. I was thinking about how a lot of women walk around, what I want to say is healed, but I feel like but still like, healed on the outside, but still silent on the inside because trauma
Yeah,
has muted them or trauma has stole their voice, if that makes sense. But
yeah,
again, we put on, sometimes as women, we put on, just like what you just said. You said, "How are you doing?" I said, "I'm good." And you said, "Good is not a feeling." You said, I think you said it's a state of being. You were like, "So how do you feel?" But it's crazy because we can walk around like that. Oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm good. But
mhm,
literally so traumatized and so muted on the inside that
yeah,
we limit our voice in spaces where we're really supposed to be. Well, I said to you, I can't wait to see you roar like a lion with a microphone in your hand. And it's like so many women are supposed to be roaring like lions with microphones in their hand and roaring like
mhm,
lions in rooms, and not even just with a microphone, because I don't want to scare people, because people, when you say microphone, they be like,
mhm,
"Oh, I'm not a
mhm.
preacher." Like, that's not even what I'm talking about. Okay. That's not what I'm talking
Mhm.
about. But what I'm saying is that the mic is on. So when someone speaks in the mic, we can hear your voice, and we can hear your voice amplified throughout the room. So that's what I
Yeah,
mean. That there's some spaces where your voice, we're only supposed to hear one voice. We're supposed to hear your voice amplified. But so many women walk around, what I would say, I don't even know if we could call it false healed or healed on the outside, but literally,
yeah,
just so muted on the inside because of all their trauma.
yeah. I agree, and I think it reminds me of Paul. I use this example often that we see Paul, Saul, who became Paul the apostle, right?
Yeah.
You see him get healed, right? In a moment. You never hear him when he gets knocked off the horse, he doesn't go back to stoning Christians or holding coats or having those kinds of experience. In that
Yeah.
moment, he was delivered from that. But we also know that there was an affliction.
Yep.
And it was something that he constantly had to go back to God with. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we have that. And
Yeah.
I don't want to make anyone feel like there's not healing available or
Hmm.
deliverance available, but I do think it's progressive. I think
Yeah.
we're constantly having to go back to God, and it's not arduous when you have a relationship, right?
Yeah.
It's a place of perpetual healing. It's the
Yeah.
already and the not yet, right? It's the space in between. I'm being healed, the process
Hmm.
of healing, as opposed to like even when you say unmuted, sometimes in certain spaces we can be healed. In
Yeah.
other spaces, it's a little different. I
It,
still had that little drawback, like, oh, I can't, oh, oh, be quiet.
yeah.
So I think
Yes.
there's a progressive element to it, and
Yeah.
yeah, that
I
that
love
makes
that.
sense to me.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It makes sense to me. I love when you just said that healing is an ongoing thing, and I think sometimes that people think that it's not. It's kind of like,
Hmm.
I'm not healed yet, and then that's it. Or either it's I'm healed and that's it. But it's like, no, this thing is definitely like a work out your own soul salvation. You know how like you're continuously working out your salvation. I don't care what anyone says, because you know what I mean. Like,
Right.
we have a sinful nature, which means that if I wake up, no matter how much holy, set apart I want to be, sin is real. So there is a chance that I will sin, and there's a chance that I will do the right thing. So I think it's just the same thing with healing. There is a chance that I will be triggered by something that I thought that I was healed from, but then when it shows up, I realize, oh snap, I am not healed from that. But I think
Mhm.
it, like exactly what you just said, it is a continual work that we have to consistently do. And the best thing about the Bible is it's our resource. So it's one of those things where we can keep picking out the scripture that we need to help us heal from this area. Sometimes we think we're healed, we'll put band-aids over it and then go, oh, nope, I'm good in that area. But then as soon as you hear someone yell your name and you're like, wait a minute, no, what? And it's like you go
Mhm.
back to that place, wherever that place is, but you go back to that place. But also, I absolutely love what you said about how sometimes we can walk in rooms and we are healed in this room, but then sometimes we walk in these other rooms and it's like,
Oh, I was good over there. One of my clients described it. We were in the middle of our therapy journey or process, and she said to me, it's like walking up a flight of stairs, and you at the bottom, you're like, whoo, if I could just get up this flight of
right,
stairs,
yeah,
I could just get up this flight of stairs, and getting to the landing and realizing there's two more flights, right? You can't see the turn, you can't see the extra flights, but it's biblical, right?
yeah,
Because the Lord describes the process of sanctification.
mm,
He describes this. We're constantly, almost like the concept of living water. It's not
yeah,
stagnant. Living
yeah,
water is not stagnant. It's constantly flowing. And
yeah,
so it's okay.
yeah,
Also, one thing you said, you're like triggers. Triggers are data.
yeah,
Triggers are information. We make it seem like, oh, I just want to get rid of these triggers. I don't know that that's the best language, because triggers tell us something. It's just like emotions. Emotions are not
right,
good or bad. They just are. They give us
yeah.
information. They give us data,
I
and
love
God
that.
wouldn't have given them to us, but not to feel them.
I love that. I love that. I think they also are warning signs to to self reflect. A lot of it sometimes for me is a self reflect, right? I
Mhm.
sometimes when I get overstimulated in environments, I it's like, okay, so what happened there? Like I can sit here and go back and kind of just self reflect. Why did you not say, okay, let's use this for a prime example. I'm so serious. Okay, Friday, for example. So
Mhm.
on Friday, I hosted an event at Ignite Empowerment Summit.
Mhm.
The night before, I was praying, and I can hear clear everything that I felt the Lord wanted to do in the room, right?
Mhm.
And I started praying for the things that were going to happen in the room. But now self reflecting, right?
Mhm.
I literally feel like, no, that's what you were supposed to say. And then
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed it. I missed the mark.
Mhm.
And I think that I got in the room and I got intimidated a little bit. And I think that people don't realize that these things happen and you can still get up and speak with a microphone, or you can still stand up and say something, and you can still give a testimony. But I think I got a little intimidated, just a
Mhm.
tad bit, because
Mhm.
it's not what something that you said. It's not an area where I feel safe or I'm feel comfortable sometimes, because being on a stage is not always a safe place for me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what about if I forget the words? What about if I forget what I'm supposed to say? What about if I'm supposed to do this? Like you have all these thoughts that runs in your head. You have a script. You go over your script, and then your script doesn't go as planned, and
Yeah.
nothing goes as planned, and then it's like you kind of like you're triggered. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to say it, and then you're like, oh no. But what I did was I self reflect, like, God, I'm sorry. I think I missed the mark that time. I think
Mhm.
that what you were downloaded is what I was supposed to say, but I did pray it. And I said, so please, literally forgive me for not saying it, but I did pray it for the ladies that were in the room. So
Yeah.
I just had to bring that up because I think sometimes, again, we can get into these spaces and we can get, triggered, but it's self reflection has to happen with that, because with exactly what you just said, it's data. So it's only like, okay, write down how you felt when you walked in that room. I felt great. I felt amazing. But when I put the mic in my hand, I'm like, oh, I got this. And that's how, bigging yourself up. And then you get in front of all the people and you're like, oh my God.
We
These
here
ladies,
now.
look, we here, but these ladies ain't even clapping. I said Jesus and they ain't clap. So I know I'm gonna have to work hard tonight. Like, you know what I mean? So then it's
Yeah.
like, I'm triggered. You ain't clapping for Jesus. Now I'm definitely triggered.
Right.
I don't want you to clap for me. I want you to clap for Jesus. I want you to clap at the fact the enemy's not going to have his way tonight. And
Right.
then it's
Right.
like, and
It,
I'm like,
Yeah, and I thank you for sharing that, because I think that is not an uncommon I say this all the time, like, this is not what I had in mind, guys. Like when we
right,
had
right,
this
right,
conversation, this
right,
is
right,
not,
right,
I say yes, but this is not what I expected, right? And so a lot of times the Bible says, lets the seed fall to the ground and die, it dies alone, right? And sometimes we forget that there is a how do you say it? There's a sacrifice to what we're doing. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's not, again, not what we thought it was going to be. Just because it did not appear, perhaps, that those things happened in the room does not negate the fact that it could have.
Right.
Right? The Lord has a plan for our imperfections. That's it
Right.
all the time. Like, because I'm a recovering perfectionist, I'm trying
Recovering. I love it.
recovering.
I love it.
I'm like, there has been so much energy because that was my response to trauma. Let me figure out how to manipulate my environment to be perfect as I can, so that I
Wow.
won't be rejected, so I won't be
Wow.
mishandled,
That's
so
so
I
good.
will be strong enough to withstand. Because I'll always have these things to fall back on if I'm perfect enough, right? We know
Yep.
that's a fallacy, but that's
Mm-hmm.
what we do. So then, what does God do? He brings you in arenas where you ain't got no, ain't no perfection here.
Right.
You it ain't even about you. You could be perfect all you want.
Right.
Even that's not the
Right.
scripture say be ye holy. We trying to be perfect and God is saying no, be holy. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in any event, I think one, your heart was honorable to God. So we don't know what transpired in the hearts of the people because of
Right.
your prayer.
Yeah.
And also the reality is we don't have to be perfect to get the job done.
Right. Right.
Circumstances don't have to be perfect.
Right.
Oftentimes, it's the imperfect stuff that draws people to Him.
Right.
The
And
perfect.
that's real. That's real. And I think it's crazy that we paint, how we can rehearse how this meeting, like we're about to walk into a meeting, we rehearse how it goes. And I heard a woman say that, and she said, I have a meeting. This was a couple weeks ago. She said, I have a meeting coming up with my superintendent. And she said, um, but I'm rehearsing everything that's supposed to happen in the room. And she goes, but it's when you talk about money, it gets a little sticky. We
Mhm.
don't like to talk about money. So she just kept saying, I'm rehearsing it and I know what they're saying. I'm very well prepared. And I said, so stop rehearsing. Like, if you're
Mm,
very well prepared,
yes.
because what
Mhm.
happens is we rehearse all these scenarios, and then when we get in a room, that doesn't even happen. It's crazy. It's like we work ourselves up and it doesn't even happen the way that we think it's going to happen, but it happens exactly the way that God wants it to happen. And I think we get so caught up on, we got to make sure we do this, and this when we walk in. And it's like, no, I just need you to be available. I just need you to be willing. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
When we talk
Yeah.
about we talk about grace, and we talk about, allowing the Lord to do His perfect work, but we can be very law based, right? If
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
all of these things,
I love that.
2 + 2 = 4. God math is different. God math
No,
is different.
seriously.
So
No,
we're
seriously. No, that's
trying,
real.
but we're trying to ensure a certain outcome by our
Yeah.
behavior, and that's just not. It doesn't work like that. I
Yeah.
mean, some systems believe that it does. It doesn't. Because if that
Yeah.
was the case, we could earn our salvation. We could earn our perfection, but we can't.
Yeah. No, that's good. So, how would you say, or what would you say, how does trauma affect the way we speak or we don't speak? And I know that's like such a like broad question, but
Mhm.
even if you just say what you want to say, like
No.
even if it's not the answer, just tell me, how does trauma, and let me just expound just a little bit. And I'm thinking about childhood trauma and I know a lot of African American, I want to say, families, like, you
Mhm.
don't speak unless you're spoken to, or when you sit in a room, you don't say anything when it's a room full of adults, or you need to leave when adults are speaking, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, or
Mhm.
you just speak and you don't say anything. And then it's like we carry that trauma when we get older. And it's like then we pass it down to our children. You don't speak unless you're spoken to, or as adults in here, get out the room, or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be, or whatever it is. But how does trauma affect the way we speak or we don't speak, or how does it show up?
I think it's like you said, it is a broad question, and I think it's different for different folks. But
Yeah.
I always it depends on when that trauma happened, the
Mm.
level or impact of trauma. Because some trauma is, you know, complex trauma. This was multiple levels of injury, right? Just like in the natural, you can have a compound fracture, and it means that there are multiple layers or multiple systems impacted. Usually, if it's like the bone comes through the
Right.
skin, it's a
Mm.
complex trauma to your bone. So we can have what's called complex emotional trauma.
Yeah.
When that happens, it is very without processing,
Yep.
it is hard to move past that place of trauma. So if
Yeah.
it was, hey, not only did somebody say stay in a child's place and don't talk, but when you told them about the essay or you told them about a violation, they didn't believe you. So now you have the psychological trauma, you have the I actually
Wow.
told you not to speak, and the result thereof is now I have no outlet for that information. So now I'm
Wow.
stuck. If it happened when I was 7, I'm stuck at 7 because I don't have the framework to move past that. If it happened when I was 12, I'm stuck at 12 because I don't have any way to move past that. I was never taught how to speak and be heard. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what happens. It traps you in the age or the psychological space of that trauma. That's where I go back to triggers. Now, every
Right.
time somebody doesn't hear me, I go back to that.
Yes. Wow. Wow. I
Yeah.
love the word you use. It traps you in that space.
Mhm.
It's
That's why I say
crazy.
it needs to be processed because what happens, and I know you didn't ask this, but what happens is we compartmentalize because we can't physically stay at the age. So we grow up, but we kind of compartmentalize. We put that trauma in a box, we put it in a drawer, we close it,
Yeah.
and we try to
Yeah.
move on. But
Yeah.
just like dirty clothes in the corner, I use this example all the time. You put as many, you could put a sheet over the dirty clothes in the corner. But guess what? The results are still going to be there. You still,
Yeah.
you might get critters, you might get aromas, you're going to get the results. And so
Yeah.
I always encourage people, let's go back to see, uncover what's there
Yeah.
because you'll
Yeah.
keep going around that same mountain.
I
Otherwise,
love that. I'm not even sure. I love that. I love that. You can put a sheet over it, but this is the thing. Let's talk about laundry, child. When you take off the sheet, you realize,
my
dang
God,
it.
today
Yes.
it's going to
Not
take
to that.
14 days just to, you know,
Not to that. Like, this is too much.
just put
This
this.
is too much. But
And
I
you're
think that,
right. And that's how sometimes people don't deal with it.
right.
But
And I literally,
it's going to come up.
yeah, I literally was about to just that part right there. It's just like, and then sometimes when we see it, it's like, oh, this is too overwhelming. I can't deal it. People don't want to feel the feels. People
Mhm.
don't want to deal with the trauma. They don't want to. They don't want to separate the colors, the dark from the white from the lights. They
Yeah.
don't want to have to separate it. They don't want to. And then they think about, look, how about this? After you wash it, now you got to dry it, and then you have to fold it. Then you have to put it away.
Yeah.
So it's so many layers to unpacking the trauma. But I think it saddens my heart sometimes because I go into environments and I see if I could be, transparent, I see high school all over again.
Yeah.
And adult women that have children and adult women that have grandchildren. And it's like you walk into I walk into these environments and I see high school and I'm like,
Yeah.
my God, like
Because
help
we
me,
haven't
Lord.
learned we haven't learned the skills,
Yeah.
right? The term is arrested development. You
Mm,
you trapped, you stuck,
yeah.
and you aren't able to move past that. When we were talking about that whole analogy of the clothes, the it somebody will say, okay, it's clothes, whatever, it'll be fine. Just
Yeah.
buy some more underwear. But the reality is, when it's our emotions, you can't even feel your full range of emotions
Right.
because you have locked that part of it away. You
Right.
can't access it anymore,
Right.
right? And in order to, unfortunately, in order to parse out dirty from clean clothes, you gotta get your hands dirty. You
You
have to
got
do the
to.
work. It might be unpleasant, but otherwise you're immobilized.
Yeah, yeah. I went through this class. It was, years ago from through my church, and it was called the Freedom Experience. And
Mm,
like some areas you think that you're good in, and then you realize that you're not good in that area. And at this one area, and I mean, I'll say it. I don't care because I'm healed from it. But like, my mom was always present, and I was raised by my mom and my grandmother.
mm-hmm,
And my mom, she had the ability to purchase a home. So but the home was in, it was an okay area, but the school district wasn't good. So
mm-hmm,
she said, stay here. And like, she was very present. I mean, I saw her every single day. She
mm-hmm,
just lived in a different house, but she said, stay here with your grandma so you can finish high school. So I'm like,
mm-hmm,
no, I want to go to the African American school. And she's like, no, you're going to stay here so you can get to finish your education and get a good education. It's crazy because I thanked her later for it.
mm-hmm,
But one thing, when I went through this class, I realized that I had an abandonment issue. She
mm-hmm,
didn't abandon me though. And this is what I'm saying to the Lord.
mm-hmm,
Holy Spirit, she didn't abandon me. And he said, but it's a form of abandonment. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to take it, and you have
Right.
to process it, and
Yeah.
you have to get rid of these emotions behind it. But I'm fighting the feeling, because now what you were saying, I gotta go through the feels, and now I gotta unpack layers and layers of why is this abandonment when my mom was ever so present. This is not true. So, and then it was like I really had to let go and be willing to kind of like dissect that thing and be healed from it. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but she was a good mom. He's, oh yes, she was a good mom. But it's a form of abandonment. I need you, like, you know what I mean? It's like
Right. Right. Right.
we try to come up with all these excuses and wrestle and reason with it, but it's like, but this is what it is. We're calling a spade, honey. Now deal with the spade. But I
Yeah.
think that again, and then it's like we make these vows in our hearts when we get older that we don't want to do the same thing to our child, or we don't want to do the same thing to these people, or we don't want to do the same thing to my family, or I don't want to do this. And then it's, to be real, we cause more trauma because now we
We try
now
to
we
we try to make stuff up as we go along. But
yeah,
something that you said was really important, and I sell this to my clients all the time. Children create their own narrative,
yeah,
right? And I'm not. I mean, it can you be 8 or 18. You still create your even. Matter of fact, even adults, we see what
yeah,
we want to see, and so even if it wasn't quote unquote a true abandonment, that's how you felt. Your
yeah,
heart
yeah,
received it that way,
yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so, it's, and on top of that, you're trying to understand it from your adult mind.
Right, right,
How did you feel? You
right,
felt that, and that's
right.
the thing that needed to be healed, right?
Yeah.
I have a similar story in terms of I now know because I was raised by my grandmother, my father intermittently, and my aunt because my mother was not able to take care of me. Um, and it wasn't for many years. I hated Mother's Day.
Mm,
Hated Mother's Day. I have love my babies, but I'm
right.
like, I got attitude. I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm annoyed, and it wasn't until I realized, like, oh, this brings this up for you. This brings
Mm,
the Mother's Days where you didn't have anybody to give the card to.
wow.
Everybody making their little things for their mom, and you're like, oh, auntie and grandmom, and it did. Does that negate the fact that they loved me, care for me, treated me well?
Right.
No, it does not. That's how I felt, right? I felt like
That's
I
so
was missing
good.
something. So I had to deal with the fact that these are feelings and they are valid. And hey, maybe you didn't get what you were supposed to have. Process
Yeah.
it. Process it. It's okay.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really, really good. What did healing teach you about using your voice with clarity versus being defensive in environments, I want to say, caused by trauma? But what did that really teach you?
Again, aspirational. Cause
Mm.
I still get caught with let me tell you about how therapists be knowing the answer, but we don't always do what we know to do.
That's why therapists need therapists, they say.
That's why we have supervision. That's why we need supervision. Pastors need pastors, therapists need therapists.
Yes.
One of the things that it has taught me is that healing is a process.
Mm.
Because, like I said, I was talking to my very good friend. She was a guest on your show, Danielle, and she was asking me like, "Well, how do you feel?" And I was like, "You just go and ask me how I feel. Why do you mean? What you mean?" And I had a whole neck roll attitude. I was offended that she
Yeah.
would ask me and force me to answer how I felt
Wow.
because
But
I'm
she has that
used to,
she has that ability by herself. But anyway, go ahead.
well, I'm just saying, I am part of the reason, again, we talked about this, that whole perfection thing keeps people on the surface, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't allow people past a certain point. Um, I can be a calming presence for everybody else. My internal world can be chaotic, but you wouldn't know because I've practiced perfection, right?
Wow.
So I think what it's taught me, that relationship between trauma, right, and being unmuted, it's taught me that I still got some work to do.
Yeah.
Because I do get defensive, especially when I'm like, I know I shouldn't feel like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I
Yeah.
shouldn't shouldn't
Yeah.
feel like this. I
Yeah.
should be past this.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
don't have to be because take note, like we talked about, take note that you're not, and process it.
Yeah. I think, and that's the part. Of course, we don't want to do the work because everything is so microwavable. So everyone's so fast. Everyone's like, literally, this is everything in the
Hmm.
world moves. But
Hmm.
it's like we don't want to do the work of exactly what you just said. I shouldn't feel like this, but it's okay that I feel like this. Now, how do I process how I feel so I can move past? And I think that that's the thing. And we can go into spaces and feel like we'll get all uptight and like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, you should have, and I could say yes to this, and then I'll be like, chill, teacher. Like I will talk myself like, just chill. Like why are you acting like that? And then
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to soften my lip instead of it's like this, trying to come down and soften, but it's like, why do you feel like this? Like
Yeah.
say why you feel like this, because you're annoyed, and you're annoyed with people that's in the space, and you're annoyed with how they act, and you're annoyed with they're acting like children right now, and it's like
Yeah.
you're annoyed because this is why you're annoyed. But I think that was just so good and so important, what you just said. Did you
Yeah.
want to add anything else to that last part you said?
Now I'm trying to get it together. Listen, not me being on here trying to get it together myself. The other thing is the idea of should, right?
Yeah,
That one thing that I say a lot is, and I got this from another good friend of mine, um, who's also a therapist. Don't should on me. Don't should. Don't put these expectations that you should feel a way, because the way you feel is the way. It
yeah,
is. Whether it's
yeah.
right or wrong
I
is
love that.
irrelevant. It's the way you
Yeah,
feel. And
yeah,
sometimes we don't have these conversations because I've said this too, right? I share my testimony a couple of times, and I always say, well, I'm only trying to tell my business, because we're afraid that we will offend somebody by proxy.
yeah,
Listen, share your story. It's okay.
yeah.
And you can be like, listen, names have been changed to protect the innocent. Whatever you need to do. Don't
Right.
capitate your story for fear that you're going to offend somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I try my best to do is take the leading from the prompting from the Holy Spirit, and
Amen.
know when to kind of like pull back, and know when to kind of stay right there, and know when to kind of like let me share what I know that I'm supposed to share. Just and it's not even about that offended piece of it, I think. I think sometimes that people will paint their own narrative, and I just sometimes I want what I said is what I said. Now don't go painting your own narrative, all right? All right. So you leave what I said right here and let that thing resonate in your heart and let the Lord change you. Like that's
Yeah.
the attitude that I have sometimes just with people. But and it's not the annoyance, but it's just the fact that sometimes I feel like women just get so stuck, and I'm like, get out of that place. Like get
Mm,
out of there. That's what I that's what I want to do. Get out of there. And it's okay, because you don't have to be stuck there, because it is like you said, it is an ongoing healing process. So the thing is, if you could take a itty bitty step forward, right? Even if you take step back, you could still take another step forward. Thank you, Mikeeba.
right.
I got that from her, but
Hmm.
literally on Friday. But
Hmm.
it's just the fact that you're making some type of movement, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It is ongoing. So it is okay. But I think us as women, we're just so scared sometimes of what you say. Like, I'm a perfectionist. You're not going to get the inside, you're going to get the surface. And if it's the surface, but if somebody finds me out, oh man.
That's that imposter syndrome. That's a
Right.
whole nother thing, right? That's a
Right.
whole nother thing. It's like, oh yeah, we got all these degrees because you feel like you need them, right?
Right.
That you
Right.
are not enough. Um,
Right.
so yeah, that's a whole nother topic for a whole other time.
And
But
I think I've heard you speak on imposter syndrome. That's
yeah,
syndrome. That's the crazy part.
it is. It is. It is. I think I appreciate that incremental growth
Yeah.
because it's still growth.
Yeah. That
And
part.
ugh, I remember someone said that all growth is not good growth, because swelling is growth too, and that indicates it's a problem. So
Mm,
sometimes I would rather see growth in a person or individual that's forward than them, like you said, staying in the same place and
yeah.
it's seeming like it's growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the pretend
Yeah.
growth
That
where
part.
no change is actually happening.
That part. That part. I'm so grateful for you for wanting to even have this conversation for real, because I think that sometimes, again, as African Americans, sometimes we can paint this culture, that we're not supposed to talk about these things. We're supposed to just show up and keep doing what we're supposed to be doing. So it's kind of like just go and just keep doing and keep doing and keep doing it. But it's like, but then I don't think that we realize how much we're packing on top, like the dirty clothes thing. It's like Now I'm
Mhm.
adding more clothes. Now I'm adding more clothes. Now I'm adding more clothes. And before we know it, it's overflowing. But yet we'll put a sheet over instead of actually dealing with it. And it's like, again, as you know, I'm not even gonna say as African Americans. I won't do that. I'll just say, as a people,
Mhm.
we just take it to Jesus. I'm taking it to Jesus, but also I need to talk this thing out. Talk it out with Jesus. I did talk it out with Jesus, and Jesus said that I probably need to talk to somebody else so I can hear somebody
Yeah.
else. And that's the thing. And one of the things that I prayed for, so long, a while ago, is like, I just need somebody that knows you. That was my number one thing, and can give me principles to use. And they don't have, I'm not saying biblical, but they basically, I need resources. Like, when you
Yeah.
feel like this, yes, you can go to the scripture, but also you need to acknowledge how you feel. You need to say, I am not okay. This is how I feel. This is why you feel like this. Now, what are you going to do about it? Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But it's like, people always want to, Jesus can heal you. I know he can heal me. He can also heal me through my process of healing, but it has to
Yeah.
be some type of process.
Absolutely. And I think that, do you remember the story in the biblical text where Jesus is healing the man, right? And he takes the saliva, I know, and the mud, puts it on the eyes, and he
Yep.
says, "What do you see?" And he says, "I
Mhm.
see men as trees." And then
Yep.
he does something else, and now
Yep.
he can see again. That is an
Yep.
example of progressive, and he
Yeah.
utilized something, right? So sometimes we need methodology. Sometimes we
Yeah.
need like you said, a process. Give me an action step. Give me some
Right.
tips. Give me some tools that I can use. These are
Right.
not anti-biblical, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we think that therapy and the therapeutic process, the devil. You don't need that. You just need
Right.
the Holy Ghost. Yeah, you need the Holy Ghost, and we need to
Eh,
actualize some of
yeah.
those steps as well.
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
deliverance is absolutely available, but then how do I maintain it? How do I
Yeah.
maintain the deliverance once I have it? You cast
Yeah.
out the demon or whatever. I ain't messing with nobody's theology, but you did all of the stuff at the altar. But you came home and what? The house was kept swept clean, and you didn't put nothing in its place. You didn't
Yeah.
have no steps. You didn't have no support. You didn't have no resources.
Yeah.
Fix that.
Right.
Or you going to find yourself the Bible says that you're going to find yourself in the same place or worse off.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to exactly what you said. You said, no, wait, how are you feeling? I'm good, but good's not a feeling. So how are you really feeling? Like, literally, I feel like it's that right there.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, no, wait a minute. How are you really? Oh, wait. And then what did I say? Give me some examples of what are you talking? That literally, we was walking through a 5-second therapy session. Give me some examples of what I can, what can I,
Mm-hmm.
how can I respond, or what can I say back to you? Happy, sad, well,
Mm-hmm.
I feel happy. I am happy, but I wasn't okay. Literally,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and even just that little thing, acknowledging I wasn't okay when I walked in the room. I wasn't okay when I said that. I wasn't okay when he acted like this towards me. I wasn't okay when I went into a church space, because I think this is, and I'm not trying to be smart, but I feel like the most offense be happening up with the saints sometimes. And it's just like, yeah, because we
Absolutely.
get so easily offended because of our trauma, our unhealed trauma, our unmet expectations. And we expect for
Absolutely.
everyone in the church house to be, fully healed, delivered, and set free. So when we go in there, it's like everyone's supposed to be unicorns and butterflies and rainbows. And it's like, no,
And no,
that's
I'm
the
not.
hospital. Right.
Okay. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not this, but I'm expecting everybody else to be. I said, a lot of y'all church hurt is just mismanaged expectations. You thought that
Right.
people were supposed to be perfect when you weren't.
Yeah.
Right? You thought
That's
people,
so good.
and I'm not saying that they're not people that are malicious. I'm not
Yeah.
negating anybody's trauma. I know there have been horrible things that have happened in the house of the Lord.
Yeah.
Even in the biblical text, there was
Yeah.
horrible things happening in the
Right.
house of the Lord. So I'm not negating that. And two things can be true at the same time. Was it your expectations that were not reasonable? Did you expect people to not gossip when you was gossiping with them?
Right. Right.
Did you
Right.
not did you not expect the
Right.
same behavior that you might like you said, unhealed trauma?
Right.
You expected yours to be okay, but not theirs?
Right.
So yeah, that's an excellent point. And I think that what you said is so true. That is one of the first questions I ask my clients, and it's one of the first ones that'll trip me up too. Yeah, how are you feeling? I'm like,
Wait, how
tired.
does it
Tired's my
trip you
go-to.
up?
I'm like,
Yes,
I'm
back it
tired.
up.
Mhm. It's like, don't trip me up now. But I rarely will say
I'm
good.
cracking
I
up.
rarely will say good. I won't say good or I won't say fine. Usually I'm tired or, yeah, that's my go-to. I'm tired. I'm almost always tired, but
I'm
yeah.
cracking up. It will trip you up too. So, what do you say to a woman that is walking through healing
Hmm.
and she's going into these spaces? She wants to unmute her voice, but she's unsure about unmuting her voice. What would you say to the woman that knows that I belong in this space? I have a voice. I'm walking through my healing process, but I just don't know how to open my mouth and get off of mute.
I feel like so if you know, right? If you know that you know, it is a lot easier. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it
good.
is harder when we're operating on what people tell us, but we don't believe it.
Yeah.
Cause let me where my lip gloss. See, if you watch my channel, I talk to my lip gloss when I want to offend nobody, because I be like, this is me, all right, me and the lip gloss, all right. Do you know that
Yeah.
for real? Because I think that your entrance into the oh, this happened to me, right? I was in the room. Reverend Nikki, we were I don't know if you weren't with us, teacher. It was me, Danielle, and Micah. And we were in this room and I'm standing there fidgeting. I'm like, I just fidgeted around the room. I'm trying to, and it was a seat that had a pocketbook on it. And everybody else was sitting down. And Reverend Nikki was like, Danielle, like, sit down. You making me nervous. Like, what's happening? You good? And I was just like, well, I just don't know where to sit. And she was like, you belong in the room. Just move the bag.
Oh,
But I was like, you know what I mean? It was me. I was the
yeah.
person who bought the awkwardness. I was the person who bought the insecurity because
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I belonged there. So
Wow.
I would ask that question: do you truly believe that you belong here?
Yeah.
And if not, that's where we start.
Yeah.
Because I think the unmuting, when listen, when you walk in your kitchen and you can cook, you don't be intimidated by the
Right.
spices.
Right. Right.
You like, what
Right.
you
You
want?
get down. Right.
Move. You know what I mean? You pushing people out the way because you are confident in that arena. I think
Yeah.
that's where it starts. There usually is something underneath there that's saying I'm not quite sure,
Yeah.
and that is not to shame anybody. I think it's
Yeah.
just getting back to what we talked about. What are you really feeling?
Yeah.
Because that you don't. I feel like that is the permission when you are who you are, your authentic self. You like it is
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. One of the things I heard when you said just move the bag, I just walk in a room and move the barrier. And
Yeah,
it's like whatever barrier that we create ourselves. Because all you had to do was move the bag and sit down. Right?
exactly.
Because you belong there. And I think sometimes we create these barriers that makes us fidgety, that makes us
Mhm.
like, awkward,
Yes,
that makes us
you
feel like, and then it's crazy, then people starts picking up on it. And it's like, wait, but I know that I belong here. I know I'm supposed to be here, but I just created a barrier. And now she recognized it. Girl, what are you doing? Sit down. You belong here. Move the
right.
barrier.
Yeah,
Move the bag, sit down and act like you know. And
yeah,
I think sometimes we forget that. It's just, girl, remove the fear, remove the doubt, remove the insecurity, and just walk in a room. Show up as your authentic self.
yeah.
Walk in a room. There's going to be people, someone told me this. They said, you're going to walk in a room, and just because of your presence that you carry, it's big, it's loud. And they
Mm.
said, you don't even have to open up your mouth, but your presence is big, your presence is
Mhm.
loud. So when you walk in a room, there's going to be people that don't like you automatically based upon their 10-second perception on how you walked in the room. But then
Mhm.
there's going to be people that
Or drama.
absolutely love you and they're going to gravitate to you within 10 seconds. But
Absolutely.
how are you going to walk in the room? Are you going
Mm.
to walk in the room defeated already because you know that people in the room don't like you? No. Are you going to walk in the room like everyone like how are you going to walk in the room? But I was told that when you walk in the room, be very aware of your surroundings and how you are.
Yeah.
So not only it was so people can receive you, but also you don't want to intentionally come in so big that you offend people. But you want to
I don't
come in
know that you hear that.
confident.
I hear that. I think that there are some people are gonna, like you said, they're gonna make up their mind either
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They will they will look at, my husband always says, "You always running around here looking like you an artist." Like he has this persona. I don't do well, he's a rapper, so I'm not a rapper. But I you're gonna make whatever determination you want to make. I have to be aware that I am who I am.
Yeah,
There are
yeah,
some people, like you said, that are gonna be like, ugh. And there are
right,
other people who are gonna be like, OMG, who
right,
is that?
right,
So I
right.
think, being no, we don't want to alienate people, but
Yeah,
also I can't not be who I am.
yeah, yeah,
I've spent too many years minimizing,
yeah,
truncating,
yeah,
being just I
yeah.
won't do it. I won't do it.
No, I hear you. I definitely hear you. Did you want to have? Do you want to have? Did you want to close out on anything? But I do want to ask you the question. A
Mhm.
woman's voice is dot dot dot, and you finish it. But is there anything else you want to say before you answer that question?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you
Oh
for
yeah, of
having
course.
me. I appreciate it. It's not off. Well, yeah, I'm not often on this side. I'm usually trying to interview people over there on my channel, and so it was so nice to be able to partner with you and you ask the questions and you get the nervousness and all the things,
I'm cracking up.
and me fight the urge to be like, did I do good? Was it all right?
No, it was great. I told you, you're so sobering. I don't know what it
Mhm.
is. It's just like you have such a calming voice. I feel like the conversation was just so sobering, refreshing. Like it's just you. I don't know what that is, but it's just you. You're just so sobering and refreshing. So it's just like when you, I don't know. I feel like that all the time. It's just like every time I'm around you, it's just like, Teacher, how are you today? Like it's like it is real and genuine. It's
Right.
like it's calm. So if you were nervous, I feel calm. You know what I mean? It's just so
Yeah.
refreshing and so sobering. Ugh, I can't get
No,
it
I
together.
appreciate
But
it.
no,
It's
no,
okay.
I
I tell
appreciate it.
people all the time I can't speak after 8 o'clock. So if you catch me after 8 o'clock,
I
it's a done
listen.
deal. I'm gonna
No,
be tongue
listen.
tied. Okay.
Seriously, no, you no,
And
you got
also
that
shout out
right.
to the people
You're not
in
lying
the
about
chat.
that at all. You're not
Listen,
lying
it's
about that
okay.
at all.
You're
So
not the
can you just
neurons.
I know,
It's
right?
not,
Finish my sentence and then we can close out with everything that you have going on. So a woman with a voice is, and then you finish that sentence.
incomparable. There's
Wow.
nothing like it. Nothing can be compared with a woman. Listen,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the
I,
word
lo-
for me. Incomparable.
I love it. I'm not even joking. I love it. And I love it because it's a healed voice. So I really love it. I'm not even joking. So I did want to, before we get off, I want to talk about 30 under 30. So if you wanted to talk about that, I did see y'all
Sure.
bomb flyers. So like that flyer is bomb. I told you I'm so glad I caught the old one. I'm like, oh, hold on. No, that's why I text you like, wait, what
What
you
you got?
send me what you send me.
Yeah,
I should have just told you to do that from the beginning. But I
no
said, look
worries.
at this bomb behind flyer. No, I'm serious. But I think one of the things that Reverend Nikki does is she really spends her time on 30 under 30, and you are the leader over 30 under 30. And I had the opportunity in June of last year to teach one of the classes, and I was so first off honored because I'm not 30. I was so honored because you asked me. I'm not even joking. I was just so honored just to be there. It was absolutely amazing. So I want you just to tell them about the 30 under 30. So if y'all have any daughters, if you're on here and you're under 30, first
Yeah.
off, you need to sign up. If you have any daughters, nieces, nephews, actually I shared it today. I shared your
Great
Instagram,
friend.
the 30 under 30 Instagram page today. To
Yes.
I was for a lady at work for her daughter. I was just telling her about the whatever. So, but
Mhm.
anyway, so I shared it with her, and I was just saying it's just a dynamic group of people. And then I started talking about you, and she said that her daughter, I think she goes to Eastern or something in the social
Oh,
work department.
cool.
So
Oh,
somehow we said whatever. We started talking about
mhm.
it, and then I said, "Well, this woman, like the one that leads it, is she's a dynamic individual." So talk about
Yeah.
that. Anything you have going on, and then where
Okay.
anyone can follow you on social media, your book, or whatever it is.
Yes. Okay. So 30 under 30, we have our Boss Up and Build, She Bosses, She Banks boot camp. So that is designed for women under 30. Those classes are for there are 3 sets of 4-week classes. They each have a different focus, each have a different topic, and it's designed to build up a young lady, right? Whether
Yeah,
that's education, whether that's on social media, you try and get them coins, whether it's in business or expansion and leadership. We have certain classes designed for that. You can follow the page at Ignite Under 30. That's on Instagram. And our classes start on April 9th. Also, if you have an under 30 and they're not really committed with the class thing, they ain't got the time, we meet at fourth Sunday every at 4 p.m. 4 at 4. I always tell people if you can't remember nothing else, it's the fourth Sunday at 4 o'clock, and we do that over on Zoom. All that information can be found on the Instagram and the the thing, the link,
Love
the
it.
bio. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. But also you can get my books are all on Amazon. You can Google my name, they'll come up. I have a website, you Google my name, the website will come up. I am over on YouTube. Is just Danielle 365. So at just Danielle 365. And so yeah, you can find me there. We do prayer in the morning, most mornings at 4:30 a.m. And we do nightly Bible reading. And I have over 800 videos. So whatever if you like
Wow.
therapy, if you like Christian therapy, I'm sure imposter syndrome, perfectionism, all of those things that I mentioned, I got a video for that.
Did you say over 800 videos, Danielle?
Yes.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. She
Yes.
has what y'all need. She a hope dealer. Because now I don't know nobody got over 800 videos of hope. Listen.
I'll be like, listen here. If it's, hey, I gotta be. There was a running joke because I have other content creator friends. They were like, y'all got a video for that. Like, got a video for that. I'm sure you
I
got a video for
love
that.
it. That is crazy. I absolutely 100% love it. Did you tell us where we can follow you on social media? Did you say that?
Yeah, so I'm on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook is at just Danielle 365.
Perfect. Danielle, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am so serious. It was just so amazing. The conversation was absolutely amazing. Y'all go ahead and watch one of them 800.
Look at when you get off. Go check. I promise you, I ain't no lying.
Y'all go ahead and watch one of them 800 videos. I'm cracking up. That is no, I'm like blown away right now. That is absolutely amazing. But
Yeah.
I really do thank you for taking the time out. I thank you for your yes, and I thank you for taking the time out. And I hope
Thank you for the invitation.
somebody got something out of it because I know that I surely did. So I really do appreciate you for real.
My one of my friends over there, Tina, said almost 900. It's 891.
That's hilarious.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
see
Tina.
it. She said 900 videos, 891. I know anything over 50 is that you rounded up. That's right. So she rounded up. Somebody said, I'm so glad I tuned in. I'm glad you tuned in too. Y'all make sure y'all follow Fall Into Victory podcast on YouTube. And then also, was it just Danielle? What was it? Just Danielle 365?
365. Yep.
Yes, just Danielle 365 on YouTube. Thank you so much, Danielle. I really appreciate you joining us tonight. Don't forget, guys, catch us back here on Monday, next Monday at 8 p.m. Where I think I'm trying to think who I have on. I don't know. Just follow my social media so you can see who I have on. I think it's Kanisha. Yes, Kanisha. And
Amen.
she is another therapist. So I'm going to be really excited to talk to her about her topic. So again, Danielle, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a good
You have a good
night.
night. Thank you.